window and stumble over my boots as I step out onto the curb. Ethan shouts at me to settle the hell down, but I shrug him off and jog across the lawn, stomping over the flowers tracing the path to the front door. I remember when we first came to look at the house. My mom knew a realtor in San Diego, and she said she could hook us up with a cute house we could rent for dirt cheap, due to the fact that the owner was an old woman who bought it back when houses were affordable. Ella and I had taken our time wandering around looking at the small bedrooms, the narrow but decent kitchen, and the wide backyard. I could tell Ella was pretending that she was uninterested, but I could see it in her eyes that she loved the house. "So, what do you think?" I'd asked, nudging her with my shoulder as she stared at the yellow shutters decorating the front of the house. She'd nonchalantly shrugged, but bit her lip, which meant she was trying to suppress her enthusiasm. "It looks like a house." I moved up behind her and wrapped my arms around her waist, stifling a smile as I dipped my mouth toward her ear. "A house you could see yourself living in?" She dithered, and then amusement laced her voice. "Well, me, yes. But you, I'm not so sure. Maybe we'll have to find another place for you. Or better yet, you could always live in the garage." I pinched her ass, and it made her squeal. "Don't pretend like you're not picturing all the many places in it that I could fuck you," I whispered hotly in her ear. She shuddered, and I knew right then that it would be our first home. We moved in a week later, and everything has been going good for the last 6 months. I've been working on recording an album in a small studio near here, playing in concerts with a lot of musicians who are similar to me, playing anywhere we can, just to get the chance to play while Ella works at an art gallery and goes to school, wearing my engagement ring on her finger. She seemed happy and even content when we decided it was time to actually have the wedding. I'll admit I would have rather had it back home, where my mom could come to it, but Ella and I decided we'd have the wedding here, just she and I, and tell everyone later because it seemed to make Ella more at ease about the idea of getting married. It wasn't really a big deal to me, not to have anyone there but Ella, me, Ethan, Lila, and the minister. I mean, I haven't talked to my dad since I gave him my blood and marrow, so I wouldn't have even invited him to begin with. But I know my mom's going to flip when she finds out we got married without her. Or she would have flipped anyway. Now, I'm not so sure there's even going to be a wedding. Shaking the damn thought from my head, I make my way to the house. I unlock the front door and hurry inside, scanning the living room for a sign that Ella's bailed. Everything looks normal, but then again, when she ran the first time, she barely took any of her stuff. I go to the back door and check out the grassy yard and deck, but both are empty. My hope is dissipating as I walk past the empty bathroom and into our bedroom, the pressure in my chest building at the thought that she's gone. She left me. Shit. But when I push the door open, I jump back, shocked by the sight of her. She's sitting on the bed, overwhelmingly gorgeous in a white and black wedding dress, her legs pulled up to her chest, her chin resting on her knees, her auburn hair pinned up in tangled curls. The bottom of the dress is pulled up over her feet, revealing that she's wearing black combat boots, not heels like a lot of girls would. It almost makes me smile, because I couldn't picture her looking more perfect and more like herself if I tried. But when she looks up at me, her big green eyes filled with so much sadness, it rips the approaching smile off my face. I don't say anything as I make my way to the unmade bed, maneuvering over the pile of discarded clothes, sketchings, and my guitar, and then I sit down beside her. Reaching forward, I sweep strands of her auburn hair out of her eyes and tuck them behind her ear, then trace a line with my finger up and down her cheekbone. I wait for her to speak first, because I don't know enough about what's going on in her head to know what the right thing to say is. We sit for what feels like forever, staring at each other, and the longer it goes on, the more nervous I get about what she's going to say when she finally does speak. I hear Ethan and Lila walk up to the door, talking under their breath, but the sounds of their voices quickly fade as they leave right away, like they sense that we need to be alone.